Dividing fractions. When we multiply fractions, let's say 1/2 times 2/3, we just multiply the numerators and the denominators, and we rewrite the fraction. So 1 times 2 would be 2, and then 2 times 3 is 6. And then you can simplify from there. 2 divided by 2 and 6 divided by 2 to simplify it. And you'll get 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So you'll get 1/3 for 1/2 times 2/3. Now, dividing fractions is a little bit different. What you do, let's say you have 2/5 divided by 1/3. Okay, what you need to do is you need to take the reciprocal of the second fraction, the reciprocal, which basically means you flip it upside down, and then you turn it into multiplication. So you leave the first fraction the way it is, and then you change it to multiplication, and you take the reciprocal of the second fraction, which is basically turning it upside down. So 1/3 becomes 3/1. And then you do multiplication. And that's how you find the answer. So you do 2 times 3, which is 6, and 5 times 1, which is 5. And you can rewrite that fraction as 1 and 1/5. Now, if this is the first time that you've heard the term reciprocal, let's give a definition of that, and we'll spell it out for you. It's reciprocal. So reciprocal. And the definition of a reciprocal is when two numbers, when their product equals 1, they're considered reciprocals. So when two numbers products when two numbers product equals 1, they're said to be reciprocals of each other. So reciprocals are when two numbers product equals 1. And an example of that could be 1/3 times 3/1. Now when we multiply, we multiply 1 times 3, so that's 3. And 3 times 1, which is 3. And 3/3 is 1. So what we can say is that 1/3 and 3/1 are reciprocals. And 3/1 we can also write as 3. So you can say 1/3 and 3 are reciprocals. Okay, so when I say take the reciprocal of something, let's say 1/2. What is the reciprocal of 1/2? Well, the reciprocal of 1/2 is whatever number, when I multiply it by 1/2, equals 1. And we all know that 2 times 1/2 equals 1. And you can rewrite 2 as 2/1. That's acceptable as well. So 2/1, but it's just 2. So the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2. Now another example could be, what is the reciprocal of 6? Well, what times 6 equals 1? Well, the answer is, and picture 6 as 6/1. And then to take the reciprocal, you just flip that fraction upside down. So it'll be 1/6. And you'll multiply 6/1 times 1/6, and you'll get 6/6, which equals 1. So the reciprocal of 6 is 1/6. The reciprocal of 6 is 1/6. So that's what reciprocal is. So let's get back to dividing fractions. Let's say you have 2/3 divided by 3/4. Okay, now in the first example, we said you take the reciprocal of the second fraction, and then you'll change it to multiplication. So what you do is you write the first fraction, 2/3, and then we're going to take the reciprocal and change it to multiplication. So 3/4, it's going to be 4/3. And you can see that with 3/4 times 4/3, right? 3/4 times 4/3 should equal 1. And it does, because 3 times 4 is 12. And 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 over 12 equals 1. So you take the reciprocal and you change it to multiplication. So now you can just multiply the numerators. So 2 times 4 is 8. And 3 times 3 is 9. And you get your answer. And you can't simplify this fraction, so you're done. Now one more example. Let's do 1/4 divided by 1/3. So it's going to become 1/4 times 3 over 1, which equals 3 over 4. So you take the reciprocal of the 1/3 and change it to multiplication, and you get 3/4.